Okay, can everyone hear us? Okay, so we'll just start directly now. Okay, so welcome back to the second portion, which is the briefing of the various categories and competition rules. So once again, I'm Darren and this is Ivan, and we are honored to be your host for today. So congratulations on finishing your examinations for those that have, and we'll just move on directly. So the first thing we will go through is the giveaway. So for the giveaway, you can email us your write-up at admin@65drones.com, and you will basically get your prizes. So this is an example of the prize. And in short, all the prizes are basically drones. So you get mini quadcopters as the rewards. So what is a write-up? As you can see, or basically, a write-up basically will consist on your team's understanding of the competition as well as the strategies involved. So basically, your team strategy in attempting to win this competition. So the best write-ups will basically get all the awards that we have here. So we'll pick a few of the best write-ups and we'll just give the awards to those. So we'll give, or basically the giveaway will happen on the day of the competition itself. So just pass you the drone during the, or after the competition. Okay, without further ado, let's get started. So in today, we'll cover three categories: the AI Alliance Drone Challenge, the Drone Maze Challenge, as well as the RoboMaster Challenge. So these are all the awards that we have this year. As you can see here, for the AI Alliance Youth Drone Challenge, basically it's required for both of the members that are joining to have the hula drone. So you need two hula drones, one to be the manual pilot drone and the other for autonomous piloting. And the top four will win a championship award, and there's a best racer award for the fastest team. For Drone Maze Challenge, which was previously called RoboMaster Youth Tournament, it's a coding only competition where you can use either a DJI Tello drone, a high-grade hula drone, or a RoboLink drone EDU. So this is only for MOE schools and only open to students from age 7 to 16 years old. And the awards are the top four for the championship award, the most valuable team award for hula, Tello Talent, drone EDU, respectively, as well as a best coder award and best racer award. So the best racer award just needs to be the fastest one. However, the best coder award must consist of the team with only autonomous coding. So basically, they'll just need to code, and the best code will actually win. It is irrelevant whether you go into the finals or not, as both awards can be given to those that just participate in the qualifiers. As long as you hold the best score, you can get the award. And the best racer award basically means your manual piloting. Basically means your speed of your drone completing the obstacle challenge. Okay, next is RoboMaster Challenge, which is formerly known as RoboMaster Youth Championship. It's basically a coding and piloting competition where you need 3 DJI RoboMaster EP and 1 high-grade hula drone. So your drone can be piloted manually or autonomously, whichever way you like. And it's an open category, so the students must be from 7 to 20 years old. The championship award goes to the top four. The most valuable team award will go for under 20, under 16, and under 12. This means that all of your students must be under 20 and under 16 and under 12 for you to qualify for the awards respectively. So let's move on. to RoboMaster Challenge. So this is a short video on RoboMaster Challenge. As you can see, we have standards engineer and an aerial drone for this competition. So the match will start with an autonomous phase where your engineer and standard can move with whatever program that you have pre-programmed. After the autonomous phase ends, you can actually acquire and launch projectiles at your opponent and try your best to defeat your opponents. When you defeat one of your robot, the HP will reach 0 and the armor for your base will drop. The engineer can collect and move these projectile bottles, as you can see, back to the base. It can also revive standards. The standard can activate the power rune and obtain this attack bonus. Lastly, your aerial drone will be capable of flying and dropping the projectile into the ball catcher at the top of your base. So this will allow your base to, or your opponent's base to suffer a damage in armor. Assuming both teams have their base intact, the highest HP will win. And that's it for the RoboMaster Challenge. So let's move on to the AI Alliance Drone Challenge walkthrough.
Okay, so for this, right, I will be going through for AI Alliance walkthrough. So from here, right, you can able to obtain a few documents from the 65 Drone website. So right now, I'm going to show you how you can able to see for this document itself. Okay, so right now, once I have clicked on here, okay, so starting from the page, so right here, we are. Okay, so once you go to 65drones.com, you press from this Air Land Conquest 2024, you click on here. Okay, so you can able to see on this page. So for this page, right, we go through from this part called the AI Alliance Youth Challenge 2024. Okay, so from here you can able to see a few booklet right here. And once we, in terms of awards, right, just now what Darren has mentioned, you can click on here. So right now, I'll just show you the awards itself. So from awards, right, you can able to see from here. Here, they can able to show you a few different kind of awards, what Darren has mentioned. So these are the things that you can able to see. Okay, so the best racer award is, we will see based on the best timing on like qualifiers, semi-finals, and finals. So we just only see the best timing on that lah. So whatever I mentioned is inclusive with other rounds of competition, not only for championship. Yeah, so I have another one to go through for that. From here, the RoboMaster Challenge, right, you can able to see in terms of the awards, right, you can see there's a champion, first, second, and third runner-up. So this is determined by the participant teams that they head to the final competitions. So it's a final round stage. Okay, where else the best valuable team award goes for those students, right? They only can, let's say if they didn't get for those students that they got for these awards right here that mentioned above, they cannot get for this award from based on here. So this award is based on the most valuable team award by a few category that is under 20, under 16, and under 12. So you can able to see right here. Yeah, so once you have see this most valuable team award, okay, once you get this championship award, you cannot get for these MVT awards. Yeah, so these are the things that I want to go through for the awards. Yeah, and right now we go back to the thing on going through the competition guideline. Okay, so for this competition guideline, you can able to see. Okay, so right now I will show. I will show you the video on the competition. Okay, so for these competition rules, okay, you can able to see right here. Here we have a lot of different points of numbers you can able to see. Okay, so for in terms of starting position, you can able to see there will be two zones. So one is autonomous and one is manual pilot. So for autonomous pilot, you can able to see right here, they will go through all the have to follow all the black line. You can able to see. Yeah, it's only for black line. Where else? For the manual piloting, they just follow the gray dotted line. You can able to see right here. So these are the path that the drones are supposed to go for these two drones. Okay. So what do I mean autonomous? Autonomous means block programming. Just now that we have go through just now. So yeah, you are not using any two manual controls. Whereas manual, they're using the controls that there are two controls are on each side. So these are the things that the difference between autonomous and manual. Okay. And yeah. So from here, in terms of competition, you only have given 6 minutes right here. You can able to see 6 minutes, and you all have to collaborate. For these two drones, they have to collaborate together to go through for each of the obstacle itself. Okay, so these are the things that I will show you. So right here, okay. Okay, so right here, I'm trying to explain on the AI Alliance Challenge. Okay, so from here, you can able to see the whole entire view of this AI Alliance Challenge. Okay, so right here, you can able to see one autonomous and one pilot. Okay, so for the, this is the manual piloting. You can able to see the gray color dotted line right here. And whereas autonomous is the black color line itself. Yeah, so these are the things that you can able to see. So these are the starting line. You can see the starting line is on this area. So here are a few obstacles. You can see this is the label right here. So you see the arrow down is the label itself. So basically you can see for these two drones, they have to go underneath this obstacle. So arrow down is pointing you have to go under. You're not supposed to go over. So from here, you have to go under itself. So follow all the way, you can see, follow all the lines right here. So there will be one circular hook. So this circular hook, you can see this label up. So that means that you have to go through this hook itself. Yeah, you cannot go over or under. So if you're not going through this hook, right, there will be have some penalty on that. So that one I will go through for the point system. Okay, so from here, you can able to see in terms of, okay, so this is a battle zone. So basically, okay, I just want to say for these two drones, they have to go, yeah, have to follow by the line. Yes, you have to make sure that those two drones shouldn't be crashed. Okay, and there's also another label. So basically, this label mentioned upwards. That means that you have to go through over this obstacle itself. You're not supposed to go under. So those two drones, they have to go above the obstacle and have to pass through this flag itself. Okay, you have to make sure that you have to pass through this flag. Okay, after passing through this flag, okay, so for this, there will be an intersection point. You can able to see the gray color bottom, there's a 3 intersection point. Okay, so for this 3 intersection point, you can see this circular hoop. So basically for manual pilot, they have to go up and go down towards this circular hoop itself. Yeah, you can see this motion, have to go up and go through this circular hoop in order for you to say that you have passed through this obstacle. Okay, once after you go through, okay, you can able to see right here. Okay, you can see there's a stand right here. Okay, so basically you see the blue color dotted line is the manual pilot have to hit on this target. So you know you go watch on the Olympics, right? 2024 Olympics, right? You can see the very famous Turkish guy go hit this target. Yeah, you can be that one guy to hit that target. Okay, so after you go through, right, all the way to here. Okay, so once you hit the target, you see the door, you go up. Yeah, so this means that you see the autonomous, you see the black color line, autonomous data. Yeah, they have to go through that door. Okay, so right now you see I'm trying to switch off the target. So basically, this is the part that, okay, so after you can see the black label, right, the black color line, so they have to go through this obstacle. Okay, so in order for you to pass through this black door, just now you see, right, itself. Okay, this black door, you have to hit the target. So if you not hit the target, this black door, they won't open. Yeah, so you have to make sure that you have to hit this the target to make sure that this black color door is open. After the black door is open, you can go through this, followed by this 9. So this is the battle zone. So this is where you can able to, this battle zone is to, these two drones have to collaborate together to finish the final task. So these are the final tasks you can able to see. The numbers are right here and the QR code. So basically the QR code is for you, for the autonomous drone to shoot this QR code, then they will flash this number right here. So this part I will go through later on. And after the number is being flashed, then you have to hit the correct order of the numbers right here. Must all the 4 of them must be in correct order. So let's say if you hit like 5, 4, 8, okay, and 3. Okay, let's say just now here in terms of number they show 5, 4, 8, 3, you have to hit according 5, 4, 8, and 3. If you hit 5, 4, 8, 7, okay, so it will not stated that it's complete. So you have to hit it again and we start over again from the 5 itself. 5, 4, 8, 3. So they will show the green light right here. So this is the whole entire of AI Alliance challenge. Okay, so for this thing, I will go through in terms of the walkthrough right here. Okay. All right. Okay, so for this thing, AI Alliance Drone Challenge for the mission door. Okay, so this is the part that I will go through on that. Okay. Okay, so from here you can see the target right here. You know the Olympic challenge, right? The target, right? You have to hit this target. Okay, so this drone, which is the manual pilot, have to hit the target correctly. Okay, so once you hit this target, right, you can see the target will fall off. Once it fell off, right, you can see the black door will open. So right now I'm trying to show you the example how I'm trying to hit on this target. Okay, so yeah, you have to be patient. And once you hit, you see this door immediately open, and this autonomous that is waiting for this door that is open, they can pass through this door. So this is the whole gist of this thing. Okay, so from here part, in terms of the mission number, so mission number is the one that you're doing on the battle zone. Okay, so this is the battle zone right here. You can able to see the AI Alliance walkthrough in the battle zone. Okay, so you can see in terms of the right is autonomous, and the black one is the manual. Okay, so right now I will show you how it's supposed to work. Okay, so right here you can see that, yeah, right now it's hovering. Yeah, right after they pass through the door itself. So from this thing, what is supposed to happen is that your right drone is your autonomous have to hit this number. Once it hits the number 8793, you on this your manual drone, this is the part, have to hit 8 first. After hit 8, okay, you can see I'm trying to hit 7. Once it hits 7, it will show green light right here, 7, and it's trying to hit 9. You can see 9, they will show the green color light, 879, and the final one will be the number 3. You can see the red color laser is the one that is hitting, so it's 3. It will flash this green light. So let's say if you didn't hit according to the number, it will not flash a green light. It will switch off all the green light again, restart over again until you hit at the correct order. So yeah, this is the whole entire thing of the battle zone. Okay, so right now, yeah, we're going to talk through about drone-based tournament. Yeah, Darren will be sharing on this.
So in the drone-based tournament, there's an additional drone that you can use, which is the co-drone EDU. Okay, so as you can see over here, this is the co-drone EDU. And the difference with co-drone EDU is that it has 2 indicator lights on each side, which will show green and red, depending on your orientation of your drone. So it'll show you which is the tail of the drone and which is the front of the drone. On top of it, this drone does not have any cameras. So you can see the distance sensor over here. It's actually in replacement of your standard camera in your drones. So there's a programmer button over here, which you can actually program and use this as a one-click tool. Or you can just use your controller that's connected to your laptop. So you can connect your controller to your laptop and ensure that your controller is actually linked to the drone prior to that connection. It will show a link. It will show a text with link once you connect, and you can just program it directly from your laptop. So these are the 3 drones that you can see in the drone maze tournament. The first one is your Tello your Tello TT, your Hula, as well as the Co-Drone EDU. So the pre-readings required are to download your manuals and competition rules at 65drones.com. Next, I'll touch on the competition rules. So for obstacle mission, your goal is to traverse through your obstacles, as you can see over here. So these are examples of obstacles that you need to traverse through. So after traversing through your obstacles, you'll have your maze mission, which is your exploration and navigation. So once you step into the first grid of the maze, your time actually starts and stops for the obstacle mission. So your exploration phase will include of you flying your drone through the maze, finding the shortest path to the exit, and finding additional points, which are just mission pads that are placed on the floor for you to scan. So once you scan those mission pads, you'll get a bonus score. So all this is for Tello. For Hula, you have a different code carpet, as well as a different QR to scan in replacement of your mission pad. So in all, you have 7 minutes for this competition. Lastly, this is the different obstacles for the obstacle mission. As you can see, this is the obstacle for the hoops that you need to go through. It's actually to scale, so you can actually create these obstacles in school, okay? So this is actually the drone maze challenge video. As you can see here, my drone has entered the exploration phase as I enter the maze. So over here, my drone is moving forward. This is not the shortest path possible, but I'm moving there to scan the QR below. So after scanning the QR below, I can then continue on my path. So I move back and then move towards my left as I continue moving to find my next point. So you can see it moves back, which is not the shortest path. So it moves forward to the exit of the maze. And with that, I've done my challenge for the exploration maze. For the navigation phase, my goal is to fly back to the start of the maze. So my goal here is to just fly back as fast as possible to the start of the maze. And with that, I've completed my navigation challenge. This maze is a very simplistic maze as it's only 3 by 3. However, the maze we're going to use is actually 5 by 5. So do take note of that. And with that, that's the end of the drone maze challenge video. Okay, so for detection, there are a few differences because the Tello Talent will detect the mission pad 1. Okay, the Hula drone will detect the QR 0. And the Co-Drone EDU will detect the box. So basically your goal is to find or realize that there's a height difference in this case. So this height difference of 20 cm will be enough for your co-drone EDU to detect that there's an item below it in the maze. So I'll show you how it looks like now. Okay, so this is my drone. And when my drone flies above the QR, I can then detect the QR. Okay, so I detect the QR code 0 for the Hula drone. For the Tello drone, I'll detect mission pad 1. So it's the mission pad that was shown on the slides earlier. And lastly, for co-drone EDU, I'll detect the height difference. So I fly above the box that's 20 cm tall. And when my drone detects this variation in height, I'll mark it as it detects an obstacle below it. So that's the differences in detection for the drone maze challenge. So with that, that basically marks the end of the drone maze challenge. I'll reiterate some parts of the drone maze challenge again. So remember, we have 3 drones. So there are a few differences between each of the drones that was covered earlier in the transition video from Tello Talent to Hula. So your pre-readings required will basically involve you going to the website 65drones.com. So I'll guide you through once again. So once I go to the website, I'll click Air Land Conquest 2024. Afterwards, I'll scroll down to the Drone Maze Tournament and open the rulebook. So in this case, my rulebook consists of my team composition and my equipment. So my team composition basically consists of 2 participants. And each member is allowed to join 1 team only. Okay? Composition requirement will require a 4-axis programmable drone, such as Tello, EDU, Tello, TT, co-drone EDU, and Hula. So in my commission arena, this is the maze itself. And the smaller one, which you saw earlier, will be that for the obstacle zone. So remember, your obstacles are now the triangle hoops, as you can see below in Annex A. Over here. So this is actually your obstacle. So you can actually create this obstacle to try out in your schools. So you'll start from the maze start point and end at the maze end point. And this is actually flipped for the navigation mission. So you're going to start from point 1 and traverse to point 4, then back to point 1 again. Remember, challenge cards are placed inside of the maze, as you can see over here, for your drone to scan. So this challenge card, in this case for Tello, will be the mission pad ID 1. For Hula, it will be mission pad, or basically the QR code 0. Okay. So this smaller obstacle course over here is the one for your RoboMaster Tello drone. So your goal is to traverse from point A to point B and start your next mission. So basically, this is your start point for your obstacle zone, and your end point for your obstacle zone is actually over here. So start here and end here, if you can see. Okay, so this is actually a short bird's eye view of the whole competition. Start from point A, go to point B, then enter point C, and move from point C to point D, and then back again. So the key differences are that when you move from point A to point B, your goal is to traverse through your obstacles to score your points, and move to point C, Your goal is to quickly go to point D and scan the QR codes that are outside of the shortest path. Lastly, your goal for your navigation mission is to move back from point D to point C in the shortest time possible. So your scoring and timing is basically 7 minutes, and your goal is to complete the mission as fast as possible. When a team starts a new attempt, the scores will be reset to 0. And if you have not completed all the missions, there will be a DNF, which is do not finish or did not finish for your time taken, and the total score will be added up. So there are 2 missions, one being obstacle and the other one being maze. So you have to start from obstacle, complete obstacle before moving on to the maze mission. So your obstacle mission is to actually program a route for your drone to traverse through all your obstacles and get from point A to point B. When the drone is flying, the LED must be off, okay? So for every obstacle tackled, you must change your color to red for the score. So when you're flying through the obstacle, the drone LED must be set to red. After flying through the obstacle and going to the next grid, then you can just turn off your drone's LED. If your LED of your drone consistently is set at red, you will basically have no score for your obstacles. Within the obstacle zone, there are 2 challenge cards, and you can just detect those challenge cards. So each team shall only run your codes after the judge has placed the challenge cards. And you are to start your code within 2 seconds after the placement of the challenge cards. If you fail to start the code within 2 seconds, the challenge cards will be reset at another random location. Once your drone detects the challenge card, you need to flash the LED to blue. Okay? And when flying to the next grid, your drone must be off again. Okay? So if your LED consistently is set at blue, no score for challenge card detection. When you reach point B for your obstacle zone and reaches the end of your route, you must change it to green at point B to signify the completion of your obstacle mission. Okay? The judge will also deem your team to be completed for your obstacle mission when you fly towards your starting point of the maze zone or across the starting point of your maze, with or without showing the color green. And your maze mission will start immediately when the obstacle mission is completed. If a programming error occurs during an obstacle mission, you can just request the referee to restart the obstacle mission at point A. So once restarted, the points from the previous run will be set to 0. So these are the point system. Okay, next is your maze mission. So remember, for your point system, you need to fly through the hoop and show red color and score 10 points per hoop. 20 points per challenge card when you show the blue color on completion. And from flying from point A to point B, you'll just get 10 points. So the maze mission has 2 tasks, which is exploration and navigation. When your maze, or basically when your drone enters the maze from an obstacle zone, you just start directly with your exploration mission. So for an exploration mission, your goal is to program your drone to navigate the maze, starting from point C and fly towards point D while looking for the challenge card or QR codes. So your challenge cards, which are the ones that I stated earlier, would be your mission pad for your Tello drone, your QR code for your Hula drone, and the height of the box, or basically the box itself for the co-drone EDU. So within the maze zone, there are 3 challenge cards placed on the floors of grids, which are outside of the shortest route of the maze. The grid will only have 1 challenge card in it. So one grid will maximally have 1 challenge card. Okay? The challenge cards will be placed randomly for each team after the team have declared that they are ready to start the obstacle mission. The drone is then to detect the challenge card and flash the LED of the drone to blue when it detects the challenge card. When the drone flies towards the next grid, the LED of the drone must be off again. If the LED consistently is set to blue, there will be no score for challenge card detection. When a drone reaches point D and has done exploring the maze, the drone must flash its LED to green. When the judge sees the green color on the drone, then he or she will deem the navigation to be completed, and the team will proceed on to navigation tasks. If a programming error occurs during your exploration task, you may request the referee to restart the exploration task, and the drone is to restart the exploration task at point C. Once restarted, all the points from the previous run will be set to 0. Next, once you're done with the exploration task, you can move on to the navigation task and navigate from point D to point C as quickly as possible. So when you reach point C, the color of your drone's LED must be green to indicate the completion of the task and mission. The judge will record the time taken for the completion of the navigation task. If the team is unable to complete the navigation task and 7 minutes have elapsed, the judge will record do not or did not complete for the navigation task. If a programming error occurs during the navigation task run, the participant can request the referee to restart the navigation task, and you must restart it at point C. So your goal is to fly from point C to point D and find the shortest path to fly back from point D to point C. Once restarted, all points earned from the whole exploration task remains. And if you request to end the completion, all points earned from the previous runs will be retained. So this is the maze scoring. So you can see if I complete exploration tasks, I can get 90 points. And an additional bonus point of 40 points with an inclusion of a search algo to explore the maze. For the exploration task, every time I detect the challenge card, I'll get 20 points. So in short, I have 3 challenge cards, which will give me a total of 60 points. And lastly, for my navigation task, I'll get a total of 70 points if I fly from point D to point C and show my green light when reaching point C. So in total, you can get 130 points for your exploration task and an additional 60 points for the detection of your challenge cards. And lastly, you get your last 170 points for your showing of green LED after completion of your navigation task. If the competition ends when the drone is in the process of exploring or navigating through the maze, the partial points will be calculated as follows. So you can see if I am at point 1 over here, my nearest point to the maze is actually point 2. So I'll count from point 2 onwards. So for exploration task, it will be the shortest route from my start point to point 2 multiplied by 90 after dividing by the total length. Navigation task will be the other way around. So it will be from the end all the way to point 2 multiplied by 90, then divided by the total length. So basically, the number of grids traveled divided by the shortest path multiplied by 90. Okay, it will be rounded off the nearest whole number. So one example will be this. So example, I start from here and I fly to point 2. So this is basically 9 divided by 14 multiplied by 90. And if I'm doing the navigation mission, it will be 5 divided by 14 multiplied by 90. So you can see this is the example over here. So with that, we move on to penalties. Sorry, so for exploration mission, you'll get 9 divided by 14 times 90, you're getting 58. However, for the navigation task, it will be 5 divided by 14 multiplied by 90, which gives me about 32 points. Okay. So next, for penalties, if a drone were to fly outside of the perimeter for more than 5 seconds, all your points will reset to 0. Okay. If it's less than 5 seconds, the score will be reset and your drone will to or R to restart the mission at the starting point, okay? So if you are outside of the perimeter of the completion site for more than 5 seconds, everything will be set to 0 and you need to restart everything again, okay? So you restart at point A with the obstacle mission. If you fly above and remain higher than a maze wall for more than 5 seconds, it's the same thing as well. And lastly, if I fly above and remain higher than a maze wall for less than 5 seconds, the score will be reset and you need to restart at the starting point of the mission. So if I move on to another grid, by flying over the wall, all your points will be reset to 0 and you must restart from the start at point A. If you fly through a wall penalty zone, your points will be set to 0 and you need to restart at point A with the timing still continuing. So you are responsible if you fail to show the correct lighting after finishing the exploration or navigation mission, which will cause the referee to stop the timing date. So this tournament has 2 rounds, one with the qualifiers and the other with the finals. So during the qualifier and final rounds, your scores from the obstacle mission and the maze missions will be recorded. Only the top 8 teams in the qualifiers will move on to the final round, and your team will be ranked according to the following rules. First one being total score, and if more than one team has the same score, the team that completes navigation task faster will be ranked higher. If everything is the same, then the shorter elapsed time for completing all the missions will be ranked higher. During the qualifier round, if the team at the 8th and 9th position have the same score, or there's a tie, there'll be an additional match with a new maze setup for these teams that are tied. During the final round, if the top 3 teams are tied, then there'll be an additional match similarly as well. So remember to sign in and have all your equipment inspected at the start. And after your referee has announced the layout for both your obstacle and maze zones, you have to program the route independently within 30 minutes. Remember to save your code and take the drone and computing devices to the registration counter to be quarantined. Okay? So you'll be informed of the timing that you need to start your competition, and you must arrive 10 minutes before your round. Okay? So you have 1 minute of preparation phase to do anything you want, be it clean the wall or place additional markers to assist your drones. So once your 7 minutes start, you will not stop until the end of your competition. And within 5 minutes after each competition's end, you must go to the referee to confirm your results. So these are the awards. So you have your top 4 awards for your championship awards for your champion, first, second, and third runner-up. Next will be the most valuable team award for your Tello Talent, Hula, and Co-Drone. Remember, this best score can be attained even without going to finals. If no one in the finals is using Tello or Co-Drone, that means both of them will come from the qualifiers. So there are 2 special awards for this competition. So there's the Best Coder Award and the Best Racer Award. So the Best Coder Award is for the best team that have coded the drone and explain the code to the judges. And the Best Racer Award will basically just be a best timing for the obstacle mission. So your program code for the obstacle mission alone will basically determine who wins that award. Okay. With that, this is Annex A, which is the printout for your book. And Annex B will show you the difference. So this is the mission pad 1, this is a challenge card. And for Co-Drone EDU, you will actually use the height. As you can see over here. So the height of the box. So this is actually the detection. And with that, we have come to the end of your short explanation. So I have a 5 minutes break before the next Ask Me Anything and Conversion Strategies brief will start. So with that, thank you for attending. I'm Darren, and this is Ivan, and we are honored to be your MCs and hosts today.
Okay, so welcome back, everybody. So right now we're going to go through for the AI Alliance part. This is the part of AI Alliance Drone Challenge. Okay, so right now I'm going to go through some of the rules from this AI Drone Challenge. Okay, so from this browser, you can able to see right here. Okay, we'll go through from this part. Yeah. So right here, okay, I will emphasize this again. So how do you see for the rulebook? Okay, so you go to this website, 65drones.com. Okay, so from here, this page, this is the main page. Okay, so for this main page, you click on this thing called Air Land Conquest 2024. So once you click on here, okay, they will show you on this page. So from this page, right, you can go through on this part, on this booklet. There's a challenge booklet. You click on this, okay. So once you click on this, they will show you the front page is the specification of the model. Okay, so we just want to go through the rule itself. Okay, so for this competition, I just want to emphasize for this, the duration is 6 minutes, up to 6 minutes. So you only have 6 minutes for you to do the AI Alliance Drone Challenge. Okay, so autonomous, basically, they will show you a few labels. So the label is within this height of area, you can able to see the length and the width. So that's a label itself to tell you is whether it's going up or going down. Okay, so from this, right, you have to code using block programming. This is only for autonomous drone, okay? Or it's only applied for autonomous drone. So for manual drone, you don't really have to code anything. You have to just to control, the direction. So yeah, there's no recognition on this part, okay? So from here, we go through from this image, okay? So this image, you can see there's so a lot of numbers. So just now I've go through in terms of starting point. So this is the area where you're able to start the starting point on your top, on your bottom right hand corner. Okay, so the black line you can able to see is your autonomous. Okay, so just now you can see the code itself. There's also like you have to click on the black line to follow this line itself. And the second part you can see is your manual pilot. You can see dotted one. Okay, and you can see there's a lot of sticker right here. Okay, so you have to, I will go through from here again. Okay, so you are only given 6 minutes for you to finish the whole entire maze. Okay, including with the pedal zone area. Okay, so from here, right, okay, so just now we got say about the best racer. Okay, so I will emphasize this again for the best racer award. Okay, so the best racer award, how do we award for this recipient? So for this part, right, best racer, let's say if your pilot, if your drone didn't manage to hit on this, didn't manage to clear the whole entire thing, we only see determined by the door itself. So once your drone fly all the follow all the lines right here, okay, but until to the door. So we see according from the door itself, the best timing, best racer award. We don't inclusive with the time on where you can hit on the battle zone area or where you fly from here to this point. So we only determine from the starting to the door itself. Yes. And yeah, so that's the thing that we determine for the best racer award. Okay, and yes, so from here, okay, you can see there's a few numbers. So you can see the numbers are the pointers that they points specify on the area of specify on this area. You can see 1 and 2 is a takeoff area. You can see here takeoff area, and you can see 3 is your line petrol, 4 is your dotted line, so it's your cost is for your manual. Okay, and your 5 is your ring, so your ring is your basically it's your hook lah. Okay, okay, 6 is the flag itself. This is the number 5 lah. Okay, 6 is the flag itself. Okay, and 7 right here is the up. Okay, and 8 dimension label, 9 the target. This is the part if you want to be yeah, you have to hit the target from here. And 10 is the door. Okay, this is the door obstacle right here. So you have to hit the target. Like you know the Olympic game, right? You have to hit the target itself. Okay, so once you hit, then you see the door will open. Okay, 11 is your password acquisition point. So your 11 is right here, password acquisition point. So once you hit the QR code, it will show you the number. Okay, 12 is your password wall. So you can see all the numbers labels right here. So you have to hit your numbers accordingly from the 11 points. Okay, so 13 is your strike area. So your drone must be within this strike area. Okay, 14 is your this part you can see your line patrol landing point. And 15 and 16, yeah, you can see there's a cross landing point and the distance ruler. Okay, so from this part, okay, we go through the rules, the important parts of the scoring details. This is a very important segment. I need everybody to focus on here. Okay, so in order for you to complete, the maximum points for you to completion is 150 points. You can see right here. Okay, so there's from here, the second index and towards the 12th index is all your penalties. Okay, you can see that if you didn't follow the obstacle, if you didn't go through the obstacle, there will have some -5 points. Okay, crash when going through obstacle -1. Okay, if your light is does not your autonomous drone light up when it's not required with -1. Okay, so you can see from here, if you did not shoot the attack zone, okay, the attack zone is the target, you -5 points. Okay, side deviation from the flight path is like about, I would say it's within about +5 or +10 or -10, so within that range. I mean, you not if you're a bit out, if you're out of range, right, there will be a penalty from here. You can able to see. So this is the part, the range. You must be within ±10. Okay, did not open the door -10. Okay, shooting, did not complete the shooting number -10. Failed to land also -10. Autonomous drone that does not follow the gray color dotted line, so it's like -40. And autonomous drone does not follow direction to fly, -60. Okay, so if you conduct any unlawful behavior during the competition, like sharing codes or communication, so this is considered as cheating. Cheating is a very serious offense. Okay, so this will lead to disqualification from the competition. Okay, so these are the things that you can, from here, you can see from page 6 onwards, is all the obstacle dimension. So they will tell you the specific height on your actual competition. So you can see the height on this stick is 100 cm, within of this range is 80 cm, okay? So you can able to see right here, this is the very important thing. So when the drone pass through this arc, right? Okay, when pass through this arc, the lights, the LED lights of this have to turn on yellow at the same time, okay? So after the drone that pass through this thing, you have to switch off. So the LED light, you have to show yellow when passing through the obstacle. Okay, so for the second obstacle, you can see the knife flag. Okay, the knife flag is a vertical height one. You can able to see right here. The height is within that is at a height of 180 cm. Okay, so the drone have to pass through this knife flag. So what do I mean pass through? So in terms of it, right? Let's say if your drone pass here, you have to pass through over here instead of going to this side. Okay, so it's a bit hard for me to explain to you. So later I will further explain on this thing. Okay, and this ring, okay, this circular ring, you have to go through on this. Okay, so usually, just now you have seen there's a few labels of the ring, right? Yeah, so this label is help for the autonomous pilot. Okay, so you have to go through this circular ring. So you remember just now got another circular ring that is not showing upwards, it's showing it's showing this side right here in this direction. So basically your ring have to go through from the top to the bottom. Okay, and yes, so these are the you can see in terms of the specification of the ring is within this area 180 cm for the height itself. Okay, and the inner circle is 80 cm. So inner circle is this from here A to B, so it's 80 cm. Okay, and this part, okay, password already I mentioned is the better view, that a better zone where you hit the target, where you hit the numbers. Okay, and right here you can able to see the target. So this is a target thing. You have to hit the correct target. So for this target, it's only done by your manual pilot, not your autonomous pilot. Okay, your manual pilot have to hit this target. Once it shoot this laser on this target, okay, the black door will open. Okay, so this is the thing, the barrier door will open right here. Okay, and this part, once you see this QR code, once this autonomous drone see this QR code, they will have to hit once it hit, you will show this four numbers right here. So your these four numbers is your password. It's meant for your manual pilot to hit the password door, password wall, sorry. Yeah, so have to hit the password wall with according numbers, 1 to 9, according from whatever stated right here. Okay, and yeah, so this is the part, the password wall diagram. So have to hit the according numbers. If not, it does not flash this green line right here. Okay. So yes. So this is the landing point. You can able to see. Once after you hit, you have to land. Okay. After you done the battle zone. Okay. And so these are the serious violation rules that now what leads you to disqualification. Okay, so you shouldn't do some other things right here. So referee will give some verbal warning if you violate some the rules from whatever that I mentioned. And yeah, so cheating is a very serious offense. Okay, and let's say if there's a violation by the participating team members, okay, so they have to restart at the starting point, and the previous obtained result must be cleared. So they will reset. Okay, and this qualification right here, you can see if you violate cheating, will lead to disqualification. Yes, and you can see according from here. These are the rules that what we have mentioned under this penalty for disqualification, or you have to restart to your original point. Depends on your severe of your violation, the rules that you have violated on the competition. Okay, so from now, I have already gone through for this walkthrough. Okay, so right now we're going to talk about strategy. Okay, so Darren, I have a question for you.
Yes.
So how are you going to mimic this competition and to test out your drone for your this competition? Yeah, how will you do that?
Okay, if I'm doing the AI drone challenge, then it's quite simple. I actually will just take cardboard and I just like tape them together along with the chairs in my classroom or tables in my classroom to create the bars as well as the hoops. Yeah. So with that, I will create the hoops and the bars directly. Then I just tape them to the tables or chairs. Okay. Then for the QR code part, that one I cannot help lah. Just go and print out. Then stick it to a chair or the side of the wall. Then try to mimic that part out. For the one doing the number pad or the password, I will just create or circle out on a whiteboard the numbers. So I'll draw circles on the whiteboard and then try to mimic that part out. And just try to shoot the numbers. Yeah. That pretty much sums up the AI drone challenge. Except for the shooting part. For shooting part, there's nothing much I can do. I just try to camp at one spot and spam until it reaches that spot. Yes.
Yeah, so I think honestly for my plan, I would say about the same thing. So in terms of the numbers, right, you can able to write on the whiteboard. So you can write 1 to 9. So you can able to train yourself to faster position your drone to that specific number and hit it. Okay. And in terms of the hook, right, to go through and go under, I would say you have to go a lot of consecutive training on how you can able to control your manual your controls are in terms of your manual piloting. Okay, so some people they may mistaken in terms of forward as your ascending. So I think these are the things that you have to be careful. Okay, and not just that, in terms of how I'm going to mimic in terms of this AI Alliance challenge, I would say exactly same as Darren. So maybe you can put tables or chairs. So in terms of tables, right, you can train your drone to go underneath the table. Okay. So for chairs, you know what you can able to do. Chairs, you can able to maybe stack up something, stack up even higher. So you can bring some, you can take some maybe a bar or a rock something. With that, maybe can be made such that like a hurdles. Okay. So you have to maybe can able to go through the hurdle, something like that. So I mean, this is really up to your thinking on how you can able to plan to train up for this kind of challenge. So I would say these are, I think it's really up to your creativity skills, then how you can able to mimic on this kind of competition challenge. Yeah. So for in terms of drone challenge, how are you going to do that, Darren?
For the drone maze challenge, or
Yeah, drone challenge, how are you going to mimic in terms of?
okay, it will be very similar as well. But the difference here is that I'll use tables to actually mimic the
The positioning.
maze. So I'll put tables, then I'll just flip them upside down. I just stick lines.
That also works.
Or with tape.
Yeah, with tape.
So I'll take
Like
cardboard and then tape around it. So basically, I'll create a maze directly with those tables. No? Then my drone will fly through, and it should be one of the closest I can think of. And since table are abundance in schools and the size specifications are actually about the same, it's a good way to mimic the maze itself. So the maze itself, I do not know the layout, so I just randomly make a layout. Then I just change every lesson.
Yeah, that also works too.
So this will hone my coding or programming skills to be able to code my drone within that 30 minutes time that was given. And then I will mimic that whole thing out, so I can just code and then put my drone at the counter to simulate the quarantine part. So I'll maybe like I'll go into a classroom, then program the drone with that layout. Afterwards, I go to the next classroom and time that whole duration for me to code.
Yeah, I think his one, he really explained very detailed. I would say that's a very, very good insight on how you can able to do this kind of challenge in terms of table and cardboard, such as your cardboard act as your barrier. So these are the things that you can able to do and try out. So yeah, I would strongly urge that you all can able to try out this kind of thing and test on your coding. Yeah. So for that, yes. So these are the things that you can able to do on your schools. You can utilize all your schools in terms of the classroom itself. Yeah.
Okay, so next I'll do two more things. The first thing I do is for the troubleshooting of the hula. So before I start, right, I'll troubleshoot my hula and make sure that my hula is okay. So you can actually troubleshoot a hula with this thing over here. So you can see my hula actually has obstacle avoidance, and if I were to utilize it, right, I can use these holes, these 4 holes over here, to calibrate the sensor's avoidance. Okay, so that I can ensure that my drone is in pristine condition for the competition. On top of it,
Okay. So right now, yeah, we will show you some of the things that you can able to go through from here.
this is the troubleshooting guide that I was saying earlier. So you click here to go to the troubleshooting guide. So this is a video on the troubleshooting as well as the PDF on it. So I just double click the PDF and go into it, and now I can actually read. So if my hula drone were to drift, I can recalibrate it again with this video over here. So this video is a calibration video to show how my hula drone can be calibrated. So we recalibrate the IMU, which is basically the gyroscope. and we'll follow the instructions. So next is the propellers. So how do we put the propellers? As you can see over here, this is my drone. Okay, I don't know which direction my propellers are, but to make it simple, if I put my finger and gently press, it will turn to one direction, right? Because all propellers are actually tilted to one side, as you can see here. So you can see every propeller is tilted. So depending on which side that is tilted towards, just make sure that when I put my propellers in this exact direction, these two are actually slanted. So these two propellers exactly will be slanted and it will point upwards towards the drone. Similarly, these two will be slanted as well and they'll point upwards towards the drone. So in short, basically, this propeller will spin clockwise when my drone is turned on, and similarly, this will spin clockwise as well. The other two will spin anti-clockwise. If you cannot remember this, it's quite simple, okay? Just poke gently on your propeller and you will just turn. Yes, then with that, it should be that simple lah. Or if you got extra propellers, you can just check. So if you are confused and do not know, one surefire way is to split your propellers into two piles. So one is a clockwise and the other one is an anti-clockwise one. Then you mark them out. So you can use a marker and color one side of the propeller or make a stripe. So in that way, you can fully understand which direction is my propeller facing. And make sure that you mark it for every propeller. So example, like all my anti-clockwise propeller, I will draw a line on the propeller. So that is my way of differentiating the propellers. So next thing that we'll go through is basically not finding the Wi-Fi. So basically you just go over to your Wi-Fi band on 5G. And if you cannot find it at all, you can swap over to the 2.4G band, as you can see over here. So my 2.4G band can now be in use instead of 5.8 gigahertz. So that's for me to find my drone, okay? But to do that, we need to first connect to the aircraft. So I use a phone that connects to the aircraft via the 5.8 gigahertz band. Then I can swap it to the 2.4. If I do not have such a device, then I simply cannot connect to the aircraft. Okay? So after the frequency is switched, we need to refresh and restart the aircraft's Wi-Fi and the device will be disconnected. So manually refresh the Wi-Fi list and you have the Wi-Fi name Hula with the same ID as your previous SSID, then -24. So this 24 will indicate that this Wi-Fi is the 2.4 gigahertz frequency. So this means that your Wi-Fi has switched and the frequency switch is successful. So to switch back to 5.8 gigahertz is the same exact way, okay? Remember that you need to re-enter the password to connect after you switch. So lastly, if your Wi-Fi is not in direct connection mode, then you will not have a normal green light. Instead, there will be a purple and white light that flashes quickly. This means that your router is in the router. Your Hula drone is in the router mode. So to swap it, you just press the power switch 3 times to switch the mode. And on top of it, if your drone is glitching and not connecting properly, you can press 3 times to switch to the router mode and press again to switch back to the Wi-Fi mode. So this is quite rare. You usually will not meet this issue. But if this happens, just switch the mode. Okay? Just remember to do this because during a conversion, you might be a bit too nervous to remember. So in direct connection mode, there'll be a green light on. Simple as that. Okay. And if there's issues, just reset the Wi-Fi. So to reset the Wi-Fi, you can use a needle to poke the drone. So on the right side of the power switch, there is a button, as you can see over here. So this is my router, sorry, this is my button. And this over here is actually the reset Wi-Fi switch. So you can press and hold this for 5 seconds, then release it. And after 1 minute, basically my Wi-Fi will be reset and will return to direct mode. But the Wi-Fi frequency is now configured to 2.4 GHz. If I want to switch back to 5.8, I need to switch it through the above method. So for those of you that have devices that cannot connect to this at all at 5 GHz, just reset the Wi-Fi. Then you can connect to it, okay? So the second part is the upgrade being, or there's a failure in upgrade, or there's a firmware bug, or there's any issues above that cause your Wi-Fi to have an issue. So you can use all the above methods, and if the above methods cannot work, use a USB data cable to connect to the computer. Okay. So for your repair tool software and usage, you can contact us if you have any issues with that. So next is the Wi-Fi network's interference or unstable Wi-Fi network, okay? So this usually is caused by your radio interference or a firewall installed on your computer. All you need to do is just disable the firewall if there's an issue with that, and turn off any irrelevant Wi-Fi networks. So the reason for turning off those Wi-Fi networks is actually to reduce the network congestion. And at the same time, try to limit the number of Hula drones in direct connection mode to less than 20. So 5 GHz actually has better anti-interference performance. So if it's allowed, just use the 5 GHz connection as much as possible. So in the Hula app settings, you can set the Hula drone to conversion mode to enhance the anti-interference. Usually it's not recommended to turn on if there's no other interference, which basically means that if there are no other Wi-Fi devices in the venue. So this is the conversion mode, or known as race mode over here, highlighted. So if all previous methods have been tried but you still cannot solve it, then just try to change the device to another one. So next, if I can find the Wi-Fi but I cannot connect and control, just check and try to press forget device and retype in my Wi-Fi password, which is 12345678. Okay. So please ensure that all your firmware and app versions are updated to the latest version, and the time of release of your different versions and firmware are inconsistent for iOS, PC, and Android. Just ensure that you are updated to the latest app firmware of the platform that you're using. When installing the application, please give it all the permissions that it requires and trust the network connection. And at the same time, when using it, some network or some mobile devices have a network acceleration function, which can be turned off. So just make sure you turn off that. And mobile data for some phones must be turned off to ensure that there's no interference. So there are some Hula problems such as the app installation failure, crash, or inability to join or enter the programming interface or issue on your display. Just make sure that your installation path does not have any Chinese symbols for your PC, and turn off the firewall for your PC. If the automatic upgrade fails, just ask the after sales technician, or basically ask for the executable file installation package and install it manually. For the mobile side, you enable all application permissions required, and if there's an issue, just uninstall and reinstall it. So some mobile devices are actually not compatible. So just swap to a device that's compatible. And if there's an issue, you can contact our technical sales support. So next is on optical flow anomaly. For optical flow anomaly, basically it just means that your drone cannot identify where it is and sustain a altitude. So in short, just make sure that you fly on the ground that is not monotonous with enough light and no reflections. So make sure that your minimum flight altitude is reduced from 0.5 meters to 0.35 meters and reduce its flight speed. And make sure that the flight speed is less than or equal to 25%. Otherwise, your optical flow anomaly will actually happen and your aircraft may lose control. If there's dust or fingerprints on the lens, please just clean it before use. Next is on flight correction and calibration. So when flying, if it deviates from the flight path or the distance is very inaccurate, just make sure that the aircraft uses the location of the initial takeoff point as the altitude coordinate. And the initial altitude is always referenced throughout the whole flight. So this altitude basically means the fusion altitude, which is not the real altitude above ground. And the real altitude above ground is the TOF altitude, with the time of flight altitude, which it actually senses with its TOF sensors. So if there's any inaccurate flight altitude, usually caused by the following problems, which is your TOF lens being dirty, or when your aircraft takes off from a platform of another height. So usually we fly above the ground. If you fly from your table, then your altitude will be different. And lastly, it will be after you performing stunts such as rolling or flips. So the last part is on abnormal and missing functions. Basically, just check your version and check your control device is at your latest version. So this is the app version that you check. Okay, just make sure app version is the latest and the firmware is the latest. So firmware is actually over here. So you need to connect to your pilot or basically to your drone to make sure your firmware is updated. And with that, we have come to the end of the troubleshooting guide. So we'll move on to how to connect or use the ping pong ball with my drone for the RoboMaster challenge. So there's a simple way of connecting to the drone. First, I take some blue tag from a pile of blue tag, as you can see over here. After taking the blue tag, all I need to do is just rub a bit on the drone. On the ball itself, or the drone itself, okay? Then I turn on the drone, as you can see over here. Okay. I wait for the drone to finish the calibration. Okay, then I can stick the blue tag on the drone. I stick it anywhere in the drone itself, except for the lens, as you can see over here, because now I'm blocking lens, or the TOF sensors. See? So if I don't stick it at these places, it should be good to go. One more thing, if you stick it above the fence over here, this will cause your drone to overheat prematurely. So for me, I feel like it's best to stick it near the gimbal. So usually I stick it on the gimbal, then I fly from there. So I fly like this, then after I fly above the ball catcher, which I mimic with this. Okay. So I fly above the ball catcher. Make sure the angle of your ball catcher and mimic is 42.8 degrees. Then I just push and it will fall off. Okay. So in short, I'll just fly and increase my speed or altitude. on the joystick. And with that, that's the basic part of how to fly and drop the ping pong ball for RoboMaster challenge. Okay, so with that, we'll move on to the light condition in the schools. So since hula will only work on grounds with not a uniform color or monotonous color, just make sure that there's something on the ground. So you can just make sure all these can happen by just putting stuff on the ground and letting your hula drone fly over them. So you fly them in a courtyard or a field, then there won't be any issues. The only issue comes when you fly above a ground that is fully the same color or basically the same color throughout. Then you have issues with it. Apart from that, there shouldn't be any issues with that. And with that, we have come to the Ask Me Anything segment. So thank you for listening through our short talk over here. And we'll move on to the next segment. So if any questions, you can just send them in and we'll answer them as it comes. So while we wait for the questions, we'll go on to talk about the giveaway. So as you can see shortly, these are actually the items that we have for the giveaway. So for giveaway, your goal is basically to simply write a write-up and email it to us. So you can email it to admin@65drones.com. And there are more prizes as well. This is not the only drones that are for giveaway, okay? We still got 2 more for giveaway. So this is the next one. So we have another drone for giveaway as well. This is a slightly larger one compared to them. And the last one is this as well. Okay, so with that, basically we got enough prizes for the giveaway. So just send in your write-ups for the strategies. So if you are using Tello Talent for the obstacle, you cannot use. Okay, one of the questions is basically, can I use Tello Talent for the obstacle and Hula for the navigation? So basically, you must use the same drone and you cannot interchange drones like that. Okay, so basically just use your same drone. So depending on which drone that you use, you'll enter the drone with that drone only. So you are not to swap drones in the middle of the competition. So if you do not have the code for autonomous for the RoboMaster challenge, I will need you to clarify on your question again. So what do you mean by you do not have the code for autonomous? For which RoboMaster exactly? So is it for the RoboMaster, DJI RoboMaster robots? Or just the 1 minute code? If it's for the 1 minute code, if you do not have any code for it, you basically cannot use any codes during that period. So your goal is to actually craft out the code. It can be as simple as move forward or turn left or move left. Then you can at least use your RoboMaster to move. If not, you'll be at a severe disadvantage for the whole competition. Okay. So for the RoboMaster parts, we can reiterate the RoboMaster parts again. So basically, for the drone portion, you can simply attach a ping pong ball with a blue tag to the drone and fly them above the ball catcher. So just make sure that the ball catcher catches that drone, or basically catches a ping pong. You can see this is the ball catcher, which is on an angle of 42.8 degrees. Just make sure you get the angle about there. Then you just mimic and try flying over and over again. So with that, I hope that answers the portion on dropping the ball. The deadline of the competition will be on 15th of October, and the competition date will be 4 November for the RoboMaster Challenge and 5 to 7 for the drone. So if you are to win or go through the qualifiers for the drone maze challenge, you are to come for the finals. So apart from that, your goal for the RoboMaster challenge is to actually whittle down your opponent's base health by destroying their robot or dropping all these large projectiles to lower their armor value. So once the base reaches 0, you will basically win. So the goal is simple. It's just to lower your opponent's base health. So we have 3 more minutes for the questions.
So we can just...
You can use blue tag to drop the ping pong ball into the base. Yes. So if you have a Tello, Talon, and Hula, and you are deciding between which drone to use for the drone maze, you can actually try that out in your schools. So the good thing about Hula is it is faster and has more stability. So if you are using autonomous coding, it can outperform the Tello drone because the Tello only has 1 camera and the Hula has sensors to do object avoidance and to check if it's near a wall on all 4 sides.
So for the obstacle avoidance, right, they will show out the blue light now. You're able to see from here. They will flash out the blue light for this hula. Yeah.
So if you are using an external attachment to drop the ball into the base, you only can use this port over here. So this is the port that you can connect to. So you're using other ways, then it's not allowed.
Can you customize?
You can place small objects to your robots, but this must not interfere with its flight performance. So for example, I want to drop my ball by flipping it. I can put a 3D printed object that attaches to my hula drone. So I can flip it to drop it. Or the other way around. If I fly like this, then I can pause or stop mid-flight to drop it. So for the modification of the robot, just make sure that for the modification of the RoboMaster robot, you have to make sure that it does not interfere with its functions. So just make sure that you don't interfere with the main function, such as blocking your camera view and anything important. Okay. So the restrictions on modification of the RoboMaster robot will be shown now. Okay. So we cannot use any fuel-driven engines, explosive or high-pressure gases, like working fluids and other dangerous items. Okay. Then on top of it, the structural design of the robot must take into account the convenience of safety checks, and participants must cooperate with the organizers for the pre-commission inspections. So ensure that the usage of those robots will not cause harm, and the bullet launching mechanism is on a safe state, and ensure that it will not directly or indirectly harm anyone at any point in time. Okay, so basically you can customize it, but you cannot block the important functions. For specifics, you can actually email us on the customization. So if you're talking about how your robot move, you can edit the code whatever you want. So what I meant by customization is physical changes on the RoboMaster. Does that answer your questions? Okay. So are there any other questions? If not, we'll wrap up this Q&A shortly soon.
Okay, can. Let us email.
Okay, so if you have any further questions, please email us and we'll basically answer all your queries or the queries that you have. Okay, so once again, make sure that your drone is at its optimal state before the competition. Ensure that if you want to code beforehand, just make sure to save your code and ensure the connection or the connectivity of your device and the drone. Okay, we have prizes for giveaways once again. So email us your write-ups on the strategies on how you would do or what you would do to win this competition.
Okay, so today we have already come to the end from our walkthrough or everything on the competition. So my name is Ivan
And I'm Darren. And we are honored that for all your attendance in our webinar today. So thank you, and we'll see you at the Air Land Conquest 2024.